Welcome to the Poopism Podcast, where gut health gets real, stigma gets flushed, and your story finally has a seat at the table. I'm Barbie Chapman, integrative health coach and founder of Poopism, and I'm on a mission to make digestive wellness less overwhelming, more empowering, and yes, totally okay to talk about. Together, we're redefining our relationship with gut and bowel health, shifting the conversation from shame and silence to understanding and care. Each episode shares honest, heartfelt stories from people who have been dismissed, misdiagnosed, or overlooked, yet found the courage to trust their bodies and reclaim their health. Whether you're beginning your gut health journey, facing a chronic illness, or wanting to share lessons learned along the way, this podcast is a space where your experience matters. We also welcome practitioners and experts who offer compassionate insights and practical guidance to support you every step of the way. If you're ready to get organized, get answers, and get back in control of your health, you're in the right place. Let's make our number twos a number one conversation. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult a medical professional or doctor for your health concerns.
A huge thing for me was food. I'd be like, how am I going to tackle this through food? I'm going to see what certain foods trigger me, make me get bloated immediately, or oh, this was a really good poop day. Let me look back at what I ate. Yeah. So I tried to do it in a systematic way that was very obviously healthy and not trying to keep track or not being too hard on myself about what I ate, but it was mostly to see what helped my body function really well. So that was something that was definitely very helpful for me.
And do you feel that was kind of the catalyst for starting Guts for Brains, having all that documentation?
Yes, for sure. Mm-hmm. I feel like even now when I'm finding things about myself, oh my gosh, this was a really good poop day. I just think about things this can help somebody else. And so that's why someday I certainly do want to create a cookbook for college students or just anyone. I'm just saying college because oh my gosh, money is really tight in college and all the cheap ingredients. But yes, I just think about all the ingredients that were really helpful for me. And then I just want to take all that knowledge and just share it because knowledge is truly a tool.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Poopism Podcast. My name is Barbie Chapman and I'm the founder of this movement. I'm on a mission of making our number twos a number one conversation. An often overlooked topic that is taboo in today's society is a much needed conversation. And I'm here to break the stigma. One real conversation at a time. Today's guest is Favour Applecarry. She is a rising senior at Brown University. In her free time, you'll find her playing semi-professional soccer and writing poetry. Another fun fact about her is that she started a company and platform called Guts for Brains. This platform has been dedicated to documenting her college journey, dealing with various gut health issues. I have found her story incredibly important and also one that resonates deeply with me. It's that moment you have a doppelganger experience, but it's not so much someone you look alike, but someone that has the same experience and lived experience that you've had. And that's what I'm seeing today. And I'm so excited to have her on the podcast to share her story and all that she's gone through, not just through college, but throughout her whole life. Favour, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Barbie. I'm super excited to be here. And just like you said, it was just so crazy when we got the opportunity to connect because it was I was seeing somebody who has gone through something so similar. And for the first time, I truly felt not alone.
I know you said you were fangirling. I was doing the same. I was yeah. I mean, from the moment, thank the Lord for, social media when we use it as it was intended, networking, social networking, right? And when I saw you the recent podcast post, I'm Guts for Brains. I started clicking in. I'm okay. And then I clicked on the website. I was blown away. I started reading your bio, which I read again today, and I was in tears. because you're so vulnerable and funny and real about something that is a really shameful topic in a lot of different parts of the world. It's just not even the US, it's all across the world, right? It's very
Yeah.
taboo, something that we don't even sometimes discuss with ourselves, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
your platform shows that you were on a mission of finding what was going on in your body.
Mhm.
And you said that it really started in childhood. You said rabbit poop droppings.
Mhm.
Can you share more about that?
Yeah, of course. So since I was little, I feel like I was born in Nigeria, and so I've always had meals that are very ethnic, have a lot of vegetables, leafy greens, foods
Mm,
like cassava. But even then, I found that occasionally I would definitely have poop that was like rabbit droppings. But for me, that was just normal because we don't really talk about poop. There's like nobody to
sure.
compare it to. And
Right.
so as I got older, I would have rabbit droppings every rabbit droppings every once in a while, but
Mhm.
I started to notice that I'd be more regular. And the more that I would eat Nigerian meals, cultured meals, I feel like my bowels would be more like they would be they'd be moving more naturally, and I would just have like less issues. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until I got into college that that's when I noticed a complete change to the point where I was like, wait a minute, maybe this isn't as normal.
Wow. So, can you take me back to what was on the plate when you were growing up? What did it
Mhm.
look like? What did it smell like?
Yeah, of course. I just love talking about food. And honestly, I think there's just so much power in food and just the way that brings people together, but also like how
Yeah.
your food can literally craft your insides and your microbiome. But for
Yes.
a lot of staples would be traditional meals like eba and yam and also stews that
Mm,
are something that would I would often eat. And it's so interesting because this past semester I was able to take a course about microbiology, and I found that some of the meals that I was eating when I was younger and like still now to this day had a lot of bacterial, like good bacteria within them. And it's so crazy because
yeah.
when I was younger, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm eating this again. But I didn't realize like how good it was for me.
Right. Yeah, there's like this new movement, right?
Mhm.
Fermented foods, get your
Yeah.
fermented foods.
Yeah.
So many cultures have been including fermented foods in their
Mhm.
diet for a very long time, right?
Yeah.
I know, prior to the podcast, we discussed, about decolonizing the plate, right? We've seen the Okinawa diet and the Mediterranean diet as kind of like
Mhm.
these staple alternatives to the
Mhm.
American diet. But what you just shared is really powerful. Like the Nigerian food that you were eating
Mhm.
had bacterial strains
Mhm.
to help keep your gut regulated and
Mhm.
strong
Yeah.
and shielded until you got to college.
Yes.
And tell me about what happened when you got there.
Yeah. So as soon as I got to college, I it was just a complete culture shock, obviously, because I'm way far from home, but also
Mm,
because I was noticing so many different things about my body to the point where it was like screaming at me. And I noticed that, okay, maybe it's time to stop ignoring my body. Like, for example, I would be having constipation. I would be having severe bloating to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gaining so much weight. And it caused me to kind of have body issues, but it was really just bloating. And then acne came with that, but it was really the constipation that drove me to be like, I need to go to the doctor because I just was not pooping. Like, if I would go, it would be once a day and it would be rabbit droppings, but it would be like very severe to the point where I'm like, yeah, I know, at least I know that this is not normal out of all things.
right. And did you notice, you said it was rabbit droppings throughout,
Mhm.
your life. Was
Yeah.
there any point that the consistency changed? Because even behind me, I have the Bristol stool chart. It
Yeah.
ranges between one being severe constipation, rabbit
Yeah.
droppings, to
Mhm.
type 7, which is diarrhea. Did you ever
Mhm.
fluctuate at any point?
I feel like before college, I definitely was at a good range. I think about like 5, or I don't really know which number, but yes, it
Or
was like
4?
yes, 4. Yeah, and I think that that was when I was at a good spot, but then in college, I feel like it was just consistently stage 1, and it would just stay like that, and that's what set off an
Mm,
alarm in my head. I'm like, I'm not too like, I'm not an expert, but I know that this isn't normal, at least for me, even though I know that
yeah.
I've had slow motility in the past, like, it's a bit harder for me, but I knew that there's, like, an alarm going off in my head that this could not be right.
Hmm. I'm
Yeah.
curious about that alarm. Was it one, you said you started to go to the doctor.
Mhm.
did the alarm go off or get louder?
That's such a good question. I feel like when I did go to the doctor, I expected it to just go off and be like, oh, easy peasy. I'll just be over with it and it'll be simple like that. But when I went to
Mhm.
the doctor the first time, I feel like it was very much temporary fixes and just giving me things like Metamucil and Miralax. And while I think that they can be helpful, I feel like for me in that situation, neither of them helped me. And I feel like every time that I tried to voice that, they would say things like, oh, it can't make your symptoms worse. It can only get better. And they would kind of
Mm.
paint it as if it was all in my head. So each time that I went, and I was a freshman, and like I feel like I didn't even have like a voice for myself. Like even scheduling the appointment was scary for me in its own. Like being like, hey, can I a doctor's appointment? I don't even know how to do that, but it took a lot
Oh,
for me to do that and for me to go and to be shut down and just to be told that like, oh, this is a quick fix and it'll work. And then I'm like, it's not working, but I was just sent away. So I feel like that
right.
kind of set me into a period of just like not wanting to do anything about it. I was just like, oh, well, I'm just
Mhm.
gonna leave this and I'm just gonna see what happens. And it wasn't until like I think my sophomore year or my junior year when I was so constipated to the point of urination where I'm like, I'm gonna try going to the doctors again. But
Wow.
definitely rough.
I'm hearing that you noticed something was wrong. The alarm was going off.
Hmm.
You're a freshman away from home.
Yeah.
I mean, just constipation or not, like
Mhm.
going off to college is one of the biggest transitions
Yeah.
young people go through socially, mentally, spiritually, physically.
Hmm.
There's so many changes that come quickly, right?
Yeah.
Add on dysregulated gut
Hmm.
and you advocating for yourself. I mean, such a young person advocating for themselves just to get to the doctor, be gaslit, given a few things,
Hmm.
Metamucil, Miralax, and then you're sent on your way.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people experience that
Yeah.
where they become have this shame. They already have shame around the topic, but then it deepens.
Yeah.
And like you said, it took about another year to 2 years to trust
Hmm.
going back.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
exactly how it felt.
Did health improve by during that time or decline? What was happening?
During that time, I would say that my like of not going to the doctor and not just trying to ignore the problem, I would say that it was a decline, but it was in a sense of a buildup. Like it's just like I'm
Mm,
just gonna ignore it and hope that my body goes back to normal. I'm just gonna ignore it. But then just the added stress of just having these constant problems and then like coursework, just all these things piling it on and on and on. It just felt like I hit a breaking point where I'm like, okay, I need to make a change and I need things to be different or like because I physically can't go on like this any longer.
right.
And it was just a lot. And I wish that
Oh,
I could just say that after I'd went to the doctors again, because the amount of doctors visits that I've been through, gone, the amount of doctors visits that I've had, it's just like uncountable. But I feel like at least from
yeah.
all of them, I've learned something about myself. And that's like something that I wouldn't have been able to learn if I hadn't gone to all of them.
Yes, I can resonate with that
Hmm.
completely. Yeah, it's like when you're not getting the support that you need, it
Hmm.
really pushes you to become more self-aware,
Hmm.
jump on YouTube, open
Hmm.
some textbooks up,
Yeah.
CDC's website, whatever you need to do to
Yeah.
start getting help.
Hmm.
I'm curious for people who are listening that may be in this space of like, I've
Hmm.
gone to so many doctors, gastroenterologists, they've
Yeah.
done a colonoscopy, they've given me Miralax, and
Hmm.
I don't want to go back.
Hmm.
What would you say to them?
Wow. That's such a good question. I would say, first of all, that they're not alone and that whatever decision they make is the right decision. Like
Mm,
sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, you're scared or like put labels on what someone deciding to protect their peace looks like. And I would say
yeah,
making the decision to just not go to the doctor anymore is something that you can I don't know, you could just find a lot of confidence within yourself and notice that you do know your body. And at the end of the day, if you feel like you're not being listened to, then you can listen to yourself and kind of just kind of be your own detective. But also, if you do want to go back to the doctor, that's completely okay. And like, just approaching that, knowing that, just approaching that, knowing that you're an advocate for yourself and you know your body, and just kind of having a new mindset, because it's hard. It's very discouraging when you're like, okay, I've already gone. I don't want to go anymore. But just kind of
Yeah.
like coming into things with a fresh perspective and knowing like that it's your body, and like no one can tell you that what you're going through is not real. And sometimes even when I do go to the doctor, when I did like trying to figure out this issue, I would type down like the specific things that I wanted to be sure to talk about so that I didn't miss anything, and that so that like things weren't just written off. But yeah, persistency, if it's something that someone does want, like going to the doctor is something that someone wants to continue to pursue, just continue to be persistent and be an advocate for yourself. But also if you want to take a step back to like figure out more about yourself and just learn your body, which is really important, I think either way
Yes.
is 100% a viable option.
You hit the nail on the head when you said, one, advocate for yourself.
Mhm.
Two, you know your body. But three, write it down.
Mhm.
Journal and document what
Yes.
you're experiencing. Did you keep a journal?
Oh
Right.
my gosh, yes. Like, I feel like a huge thing for me was food. Like, I'd be like, how am I going to tackle this through food? I'm going to see what certain foods trigger me, like make me get bloated immediately, or like, oh, this was a really good poop day. Let me look back at what I ate. So I
Yeah.
tried to do it in a systematic way that was
Mhm.
very, like, obviously healthy, and like not trying to keep track or not being too hard on myself about what I ate, but it was mostly to see what helped my body function really well. So that was
Yeah.
something that was definitely very helpful for me.
And do you feel that was kind of the catalyst for starting Guts for Brains, having
Oh,
all
yeah.
that documentation?
Yes, for sure.
Mhm.
I feel like even now when I'm finding things about myself, like, oh my gosh, this was a really good poop day. I was like, I just think about things like this can help somebody else. And so that's why like someday I certainly do want to like create a cookbook for college students, or just like anyone. Just I'm just saying college because like, oh my gosh, money
Yeah.
is really tight in college and like all the cheap ingredients. But like, yes, I just think about
Mm.
all the ingredients that were really helpful for me. And then I just want to like take all that knowledge and just like share it, because knowledge is truly like a tool.
Absolutely. Were there any books, tools, tips, tricks, resources that were really supporting you when the doctors weren't listening?
Hmm. That is such a good question as well. I feel like, yeah, I would just tune into a lot of podcasts and just like, I feel like the gut stuff, they're like very mainstream, but honestly, it was just really helpful for
Mhm.
me because I'm like, oh my gosh, people are actually talking about this, and like
Right.
just gut health in general. And just like I think there's a few documentaries that came out that I also watched. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but those were just so pivotal because I'm like, this is a real thing that's happening. And also like the huge amount of research papers that are being published now compared to like 5 years ago, and it's just like
Yeah,
even when times are extremely hard, it's just so encouraging to like look to a resource and just like feel like I'm understood in a certain space.
absolutely. Which now you've turned gathering knowledge into writing about your experience and sharing,
Yeah.
one of, is it Dr. Pervert? You
Yeah.
said, now, is that the real doctor's name?
Oh no.
Okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
what inspired that name? I'm curious.
Honestly, yeah, I picked that name because I was just so excited because it was my first experience at a real gastroenterologist, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, all my problems are going to be solved." But it went not well at all, and he was actually very he was kind of a pervert, to just like just to long story short, and I just felt very uncomfortable, and that was like the time surprisingly that I felt the most dismissed. And like you would think
Wow.
that when you're going to this position, like you're like, I just had such high hopes. I was like, yay, I'm finally going to become a whole new person. But it was like quite the opposite. But yeah.
Wow. Again, another dismissal,
Mhm.
another moment of like, this person is, credentialed to help me and I'm
Mhm.
not getting the help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm curious with, again, you're majoring in psychology. I'm curious, after college, where do you see yourself going
Yeah.
next?
I would I feel like I'm still figuring things out, but I think at the top of my list, I do definitely want to pursue med school, because I feel like I do see myself being in a position of maybe like a general physician or a gastroenterologist, and being able to kind of flip the script, like seeing somebody else who might be in a similar situation as me, but not being so quick to send them out of the room, or not being quick to just give them a solution that I think would work, but really just hearing them out because everybody's different. And I think it's super important to treat somebody as a human first and just like really hear them out and understand that their concerns are completely valid and just approaching it from that way, especially as someone who's gone through a lot with doctor's
Yeah.
appointments, but just holding that perspective as I go through med school.
That's really beautiful. I'm visualizing you as a gastroenterologist. This is the Poopism podcast. So, I can visualize you in your office. And I'm just curious if someone like you walked into your office,
Mhm.
what would you tell them?
Wow. All these are so amazing. Yeah. I the first thing I would tell them is probably to be patient with themselves and just like also tell them how important it is that they made the step to come to the doctor's office and that all of their concerns are completely valid. And I think that I would also ask them something like, what would not necessarily a solution, but what would you like things to look like? Like how would you want things to look like in, I don't want to say like a normal body, but like and when you feel like you're functioning at your best and just kind of work from there and just like hear them because it is supposed to be patient centered care and like they're at the center of it. So you want their needs to be met. And I feel like if I just was told that, like if I just was asked that even, I would have felt like I had the space to share how I felt, but also how I wanted things to look like at the end of this all.
Mm-hmm. Well, future gastroenterologist here, so start getting your bookings done now, okay? ZocDoc, whatever, telehealth. This is the doctor you're going to want to go to, folks. Patient-centered care, asking what do you want? What does your best self look like in the future?
Yes.
Is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a vision to aim towards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if we scale back to present day or even, that junior year,
Mm-hmm.
sophomore year, what did a really good day look like? You said you had the good poops
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
versus a really, really low day.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, in terms of, I'll start with a good day because just reminiscing makes me happy. But I would
Mhm.
say mornings that were just super slow, that weren't rushed. And I just took my time with everything. And also just warm tea because that just really helped to get things going for me. And I would also say days where I would just be really taking my time and just being slow and intentional about everything, like eating breakfast extremely slowly and just no electronics, just like taking things really slow. And also just making sure to have greens on my plate and fruits on my plate, which is what I learned was very important. But come to find out, like at my university, there's no greens at all available for breakfast. So I was just like, "Ugh, how on earth am I supposed to even have good gut health?" And that's like little
Right.
things like that is a part of the reason why I'm not going to be on meal plan this upcoming year. But yeah, just being really intentional and slow about the way that I move and also just trying to regulate my stress levels. But yeah, a lot of water, a lot of tea, and just making sure that my fiber intake was really good and just spending time with the people that I love. And yeah, it
Yeah.
was just so weird how everything works together. But yeah,
Mm.
I would say those were really good days.
And if you can share what a low day looked like.
Mhm. A low day, I would say, even like throughout junior year, I feel like there was a lot more of those, but it would just be like very rushed because like that's all college is like, especially when it's midterm season, things like that, staying up super late and like eating a lot of things that are just made easily available to you because
Right.
there'd be dining halls. Like I would be working all day, barely eating any meals. And when I would be eating, it wouldn't be all the things that I would hope for that would be high in fiber. Like, for example, one of my dining halls, like dinner would end around 8 p.m., but sometimes I'd be working super late trying to finish a paper. And the only dining hall available would be the ones that served burgers and fries and all of that. So, like,
Mhm.
inevitably, I'm like, I have to eat. But yeah, so
There are those.
yeah. So, just like having a diet like that and just being super stressed out, it was just a recipe for disaster.
The frozen pizza
Yep.
stick.
Yep.
Mhm. very delicious, not the best for you. Now, I know on your website you talked about high performer,
Mhm,
college athlete. No one would have known, right,
mhm,
that you were, jokes aside, rabbit poop once a day, if that.
mhm,
Spending your evenings just reflecting on like what is going on with my body
mhm.
and declining self confidence.
Yeah.
Can you share how you were able to balance both of those worlds?
Mhm. I would say a huge thing for me was that I felt like I was wearing a mask genuinely. Like when I was around my friends, I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, things are so good." Or especially with
Mhm.
people from back home, I'd be like, "Yeah, of course I'm living the dream. I'm at a good college. Oh, I'm an athlete doing all these good things." But realistically, like I would just go to my bed and just cry because I just felt so alone. And I feel like even if someone was going through something like this, they surely weren't talking about it. And so it was just super incredibly hard. But I feel like talking to people that were really close to me, like my family members that I knew, wouldn't judge me. And like I wasn't really embarrassed to talk about things like poop with, or just all the things that were affecting me was just incredibly helpful.
Mhm. And if you could, because I know your target audience is, college age students,
Mhm,
if you had to share a message, what would that be?
mhm. I would say to just talk about poop, I know it seems really silly, but honestly, I remember one time I was just it was definitely a bad gut day. I just was not going. I was not able to go. And I
Mhm.
don't know, I was just extremely bloated. My skin was breaking out all over. And I was just sitting at the dining table with my friends. I'm like, hey guys, how often do you guys poop? And like, I kind of felt embarrassed asking at first, but honestly, all of them were super relaxed. They're like, yeah, oh no, I poop twice a day, or no, it depends. And like I was like,
Mhm.
oh, really? And that also it not only helped me realize that okay, what's going on in my gut is not really what it's supposed to be, but it also
Right.
helped me realize that it's kind of a stigma that sometimes it's in your head because like you can just realize that people are really open and they're able to and they won't be afraid to just express and like answer the question really truthfully, and you can learn a lot about it. So
I 100% agree because this podcast, I've been realizing that more people are so open to talking about their journey than
mhm.
I had imagined.
No,
Okay. So, yeah. So maybe it's taboo because we all think that we're afraid to talk about it. But in
mhm.
actuality, we really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We really want to be like, are you constipated? And how often? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So if you had to give us a inspirational call to action,
Mhm.
again, you have this platform
Mhm.
that you've been creating. What would that call to action be for people who
Mhm.
are listening?
I would say to use your knowledge to the best of your ability and just continue to learn. There's so many amazing things out there. And even from having a conversation with you, like I was just like so awestruck at how knowledgeable you were. Like you were just teaching me all these things just from our short conversation. I'm like, wow, there's so much that I don't know. And there's just so much more to learn about gut health or just like anything in general. But
Yeah.
honestly, it's such a new territory and there's just so many insightful things that you can learn. So just continue to keep learning and sharing that with others.
Yes. And I love how you even said that on your website. I don't have all of this figured out. If
Yep.
you ask me, I'm going to let you know. I'm still learning.
Mhm.
And I think that's a really beautiful place to be, is in
Mhm.
a consistent state of mind that's open to wanting to learn new information,
Yeah.
build new community around these types of topics.
Mhm.
But it really it's an honor to cross paths with you through social media over a very niche topic,
Yeah.
but that deserves a really big mic because
Mhm.
we all, in some shape or form, are either experiencing some sort of gut health issue, know someone that
Yeah.
has, or people battling with chronic illnesses that
Yeah.
are impacting digestive health. So I just want to thank you for all the work that you're doing too.
Thank you so much. And thank you. Like, this is such an important platform, and I'm just so excited about it. And I'm just excited to watch it grow. This is just like a dream come true.
Wow. I really appreciate that. I'd take that one to the heart. And as Favour said, this is a platform that's built for you all. So if you are interested in sharing your story here on the Poopizm podcast, it would be an honor to sit down with you and learn more about your journey, because your story can help empower someone else. Favour, it was a true pleasure to have you today.
Thank you so much.
Take care, you all. And remember to look before you flush.
Want to share your story on the Poopizm podcast? Have a powerful, personal, or empowering health journey? I'd love to hear from you. If you're open to being a guest and sharing your story, email info@poopizm.com. Visit www.poopizm.com or DM me on Instagram.